Well, you know what, on that topic, let's talk about City projecting for next season. Now, there's a very high possibility it might only be domestic football for them. So you're thinking the squad depth maybe doesn't have to be quite as extensive as it has been in recent years when they're literally competing on all fronts. So, Danny, what do you reckon is going to happen to Manchester City next year? Are you thinking a lot of money is going to be spent in this transfer window? I don't want to say summer transfer window because we don't know when it's going to end. But what's your take?
Yeah, firstly, I think the transfer window is going to be difficult for every team. Man City's will obviously be dictated on if they have Champions League football or not. If not, and you look at tonight's performance, there's not... how do you improve a team that's so good? You know, over the last couple of seasons, they've got nearly 100 points in the 2 seasons. This year, they're the best of the rest. I know they've slipped off a little bit, but they dominate the games. So John Stones and Otamendi can play today and they can look really well because they're in so much possession. I think their problem is in some games they're lacking defensive-minded players. They have Fernandinho who's there, who's one, but the rest of them just want to get forward. The 2 fullbacks just attack all the time and everything's thinking about where can I make my next pass, where can I play it forward, instead of thinking, well, if he makes a mistake, I need to be in position to cover. So just having that extra, I think Laporte defends really well, but like alongside him, they maybe need another centre-back. And to improve what they've already got, you have to go and you have to buy the best players in the world. And so you'd be looking at a Van Dijk or something like that, but there's no way Liverpool are going to let him go. And it's very...
No way.
No chance.
Yeah. But
around the world.
Who have you got your eye on? I mean, who do you think could fit into the City lineup when you're looking across world football?
It's difficult. The way that Pep plays, I think Joshua plays at Bayern Munich is someone who can play in that number 6 role to take over maybe Fernandinho, but also drop back and play centre half. And he's someone who is defensive minded. Like I say, you go through it all. The centre back at Benfica, Ruben Diaz, who everyone's speaking about and saying it.
Pardon?
I don't know whether he's the defensive centre back that they need. So could they get Kante from Chelsea maybe, or a player like that? I think they need to really go and take a player who's proven to be a defensive minded player.
I'm going to try to again play devil's advocate because it's what I enjoy doing. N'Golo Kante, obviously a great shout, World Cup winner, won the title of Chelsea and Leicester. But when we see him played out of position, which is a manager's decision, not N'Golo Kante's, he doesn't seem quite as effective. So any criticisms that you have of, say, the fullbacks attacking or the centre-backs always looking for the next pass, isn't that more down to Pep and his instructions and how he likes to play? Because we saw that with Barcelona, we saw that with Bayern Munich, and now we're seeing it again with Manchester City.
Yeah, it's not a criticism when I say that that's the way they want to go. That's what Pep wants to do, and that's fine because you've seen how well it's worked. The thing is, if you're a centre back, so Laporte is looking for the next pass, but he's also looking when Mendy has the ball, where can I drop off and cover these players? When Fernandinho has the ball, he can pass it forward, he can run forward, but he's always on the lookout, and his personality is more defensive minded, and I think that's what they haven't got. They've got Kyle Walker, who's absolutely brilliant going forward. But is he thinking, oh, well, Laporte may not win this header, or Otamendi may not win this header, can I cover him? And that's so it's a personality thing as much as a player thing.
What about your take on this, Jose? City and rebuilding.
I believe it's Guardiola's way. I believe he plays that way. He likes to really have a very attacking football. Obviously, he didn't have the great season in the Premier League this season, but like he said, at the end, he made record points the 2 seasons before. They have a great team. They're still in the Champions League. They're still in the Cup as well. So at the end, you cannot criticize them for. At the end, it's just one winner in the Premier League, one winner in the Champions League, you know. So, and it's very difficult. It's so many good teams. And at the moment, it's between Manchester City and Liverpool. But I believe Chelsea next year is going to fight for it as well. You know, United hopefully don't, but they probably do as well. You know, like it's not easy. The Premier League is the most difficult league in the world, and Guardiola is proving himself that in anything that he's been, he's winning things and he's done really, really well. So I believe he should keep doing the same. But it's true that sometimes more in the Premier League, like he said at the end, having someone like Fernandinho there or some more defensive players, it helps you more when you play against good teams. Obviously, against Newcastle today, Stones was very easy for him to play, but when he plays against Mane or players like that, you can see that side struggle. So you have to have backups for that as well to say, oh, maybe in this side, I'm not going to be as offensive, but have someone that I know. Obviously, Mane is very difficult to stop, but I know they are very good defensive players that they're going to try to manage that. And then maybe they lack of that a bit. But yeah, they are a great team and they have amazing players. So it's not much they can do. At the end, they have to go for the best in the world, like he said, and if they want to keep winning things.
Danny, your line actually broke off a little bit when you were naming some names. I think I heard one or two names. Did you say Kimmich is one option?
Yeah, I think Pep had him at Bayern Munich, and he's a player who he helped develop. He's someone who can play that number 6 role like Fernandinho, but also can play centre-back. Again, he's Pep's sort of style of player. He's a ball-playing centre-back. But first and foremost, I think he's got a defensive mindset. You know, he's not someone who will get dragged out of position like Otamendi does sometimes, and he's not someone who will take risks, which John Stones does sometimes. And he's a player, again, he's in that bracket of the best players around. You know, he plays for Bayern Munich, and it's going to be very difficult to try and entice or sort of convince a top club like Munich to sell their best players. So it's a tough window for them.
Yeah, well, it went the other way. Sané's gone to Bayern. Maybe they'll return the favour. And you also mentioned N'Golo Kante. Do you think that he can be a Pep player?
He's probably not the style that we've seen Pep go after. I think he's technically, I don't know whether he's of the level of Fernandinho, but in terms of energy and enthusiasm and defensively breaking things up for the team, I think he's one of the best in the world. But yeah, like I say, whether he's got that calmness to be able to control a game like tonight, which City do have a lot of in a season, games where they dominate. If Kante is the player to play in those games, I'm not so sure. So he's the style, but probably not the actual player that they're looking for.
All right. I'm going to throw out another couple of names because from watching City and having many discussions with various pundits, Pep's sometimes has a bit of a plan B, just a little bit, which is having someone who can run with the ball down the wing. Leroy Sané. He's obviously no longer at the club. What about someone like Saint-Maximin over at Newcastle or Adama Traoré, impressing so many this season at Wolves? Could he fit into, or they fit into a Pep system for you, Dunny?
I think they can. I think when they signed Raheem Sterling, that was a similar sign that kind of thinking about could he fit into the system. And Jose was speaking about Sterling's personality and how he is. The fact that he's improved so much shows what type of player he is, shows what type of person he is. And if Traoré or Maximin is that sort of person, they've got in Pep someone who can develop their game. They've got the speed, they've got the dribbling ability. They just need a little bit maybe of the tactical nous, which obviously Pep has and can pass on. And yeah, that's the style of player I think that City would definitely be in for.
Do you think they should go for it?
Again, it all depends on the transfer window, are they a Champions League team or are they a Premier League team? Because if they're a Premier League team, they don't need a lot more players. So, I mean, Maximin's come in and done really well for Newcastle over a short period. I don't think over the course of the season he's been outstanding, but I think in the short period he's done really well. So maybe if he can prove it again next season, they might look at him. But yeah, I don't see City going into the market looking for wingers this summer. I think they'll probably look to try and if aren't they may look to try and replace Aguero somehow and try and get someone in who can do that job more consistently than Jesus has proven over the last 20 games or so.
What's your take on Gabriel Jesus and whether he can be the long-term replacement for Sergio Aguero, who's obviously the wrong side of a 30? Has he truly impressed you, Jose? Has he done enough?
For me, he's a really good player, but like we've been talking with Phil Foden, with David Silva, he had exactly the same. Aguero is Aguero, and at the end to replace someone like that that's the bad thing. Sometimes people as well, they try to it happens with Jordan Henderson, with Steven Gerrard when he arrived to Liverpool. At the end, you cannot compare players. Everyone is different. Gabriel Jesus is a really good player. I really like him. I believe he's completely different to Sergio Aguero, and I believe he's a very good striker. But if they should go for someone of a top level, maybe like Harry Kane, like someone like that, I will do it if I was. But again, we're talking about it's going to be a very good, very difficult transfer window for everyone. Like I say, the top players, the top teams, they're not going to want to sell them. And how much money really is want to be in the clubs to really spend. So Manchester City at the end probably is not going to play the Champions League next year. And like he said, at the end, they have already a very good squad already to play in the Premier League and to fight for it, because it's going to be a lot less games for them if they don't play in the Champions League. So really who you want to buy, how much you are able to spend, is not easy. But like I said, we'll see. But it's not going to be an easy market for the top teams, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's a great shout you just made. Harry Kane. Danny, can you see that? Harry Kane in the sky blue of Manchester City, managed by Pep Guardiola, snatched from the hands of his arch rival, Jose Mourinho?
I can't say it at all now, but I would imagine Harry Kane could probably imagine it a little bit. I think for him to play, to win trophies, to challenge for the Champions League, I think it'd be appealing to him. But like Jose said, there's just, it's so difficult. We're talking about replacing Gabriel Jesus, who I think is a brilliant footballer, but it's looking for that top 5 in the world bracket, and yeah, Harry Kane comes into it. So are Tottenham going to sell him? Probably not. And it's such a hard thing to improve on a squad as good as Man City's.